The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phalen, a weekly program here on LSN Channel 9, right here in Lancaster, Time Warner, and also our friends over at 90.9 FM, WFCO Radio. This is a program that we have had on the radio for about 11 years. Now, that is certainly hard to believe, but time slips away. And within the last 8 months, we've been able to bring that to television with the help of the folks over here at Fairfield Christian Academy. The students, along with J.T. Bircham, actually produce and put this program together each and every week. And thus far, I've just heard a lot of positive comments. If you're out there listening or viewing today and you have any questions of me or anything going on within the sheriff's office, make sure that you give me a call. My number in the office is 740-652-7252. Again, that's 652-7252. Do appreciate your comments, and if you have any ideas or any concerns, make sure that you give me a call. We try to return those calls as soon as possible. This week, back by popular demand, the second week in a row, is Jeneanne Nelson with the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office Civil Division, a veteran, been there 12 years. She came on shortly before I took office, and wow, you're probably the senior person in the Civil Division now, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing how that's kind of turned over in different, over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Now, last week we talked about carry and conceal firearm permit. Jeneanne is actually responsible for signing up the people, taking care of all those permits, and those kind of things. So for the folks that may have missed the program last week, just kind of give an overview of what someone needs to do if they're interested in getting a carry and conceal firearm permit.
Okay. You'll need to read the law booklet, get it set up with an appointment for taking a course with a local range or a private range instructor, complete the application, and then set us up or give us a call and set up an appointment for you. We take the appointments Monday through Friday between 9 and 1, and they're in 15-minute intervals. For the appointments, they need the certificate for completing the course, the valid driver's license, social security card, their application, their photo, and their fee for completing the application.
And they'll be ready to go. What is the fee, by the way?
Well, the fee, if you've lived in Ohio for the last 5 years, is $67. We can take the passport photo for an additional $10. And then if you have not lived in Ohio for the last 5 years, it's an additional $24, which goes directly to the FBI to complete the federal background check.
So we do a complete background check, and then there's well, let me ask you, what do they look for when they're looking for when you do a background check on these people?
Well, there are several different things. We do a lot of different background checks. Even their juvenile background is brought into play, even though it can't be held against them, but it's to establish if they are maybe addicted to alcohol or drugs, or have a problem that maybe they don't have an arrest history with. We do their BCI background check, which is through the state. Mm-hmm. We do a federal if they have not been an Ohio resident for 5 years. We do the probate and juvenile, and they also can be mentally incompetent to carry, which is a disqualifier as well. The felonies, misdemeanor offenses of violence within the last 3 years or more than one if you've ever had it, mm-hmm. And any drug offense is a disqualifier.
Okay, so those are the things that are going to eliminate, they won't be able to get their permits.
Correct.
And as you mentioned last week, over 7,000.
Over 7,000, yeah.
Is amazing.
Close to
Now,
8.
now, when you look at 7,000, are those all residents of Fairfield County?
No, they're not. They can come, you can go to your county that you reside in or any adjacent county. And we do have a lot of people come down from Franklin County because Franklin County is so large and overbooked.
Yeah, so, the other thing, and I've got to mention this, is over the course of a year, I get a lot of compliments about the job you do. So I think that kind of speaks volumes about you and your work ethic, and one of the reasons, certainly, you were chosen as our Civilian of the Year, because time and again, people will say, I called Franklin County, nowhere to park. I really get good service when I'm dealing with you folks. So there's a lot of folks that come. What percent of these 7,000 would come from Fairfield County as opposed to maybe Franklin, Hocking, or Perry, or some of the other counties?
We don't keep statistics of which county they come from, but just in general, I'd say probably 75% are from local.
Now, there's another part of the law as far as where are the records maintained, as far as who has the permits?
We maintain their records,
okay.
But statistics go to, I have to report them every 3 months, quarterly, to BCI, and they're just the statistics. The individuals who have licenses are entered into leads for our law enforcement to have be able to pull up that information anytime that they're pulled over.
Okay. And once they have the permit to carry the weapon, are there some locations that they're not allowed to carry the permit?
Yes, pretty much any government installation.
Government installation, okay.
That includes courthouses, schools, of course. Now that did change a little bit with the schools. Now they're able to carry if they are dropping their student off, but they are not allowed to stop and get out of the car.
Okay.
Or if it's in their vehicle and they have a concealed carry.
Okay.
The rules still apply if they do not have a concealed carry.
Okay.
Then anyone who has it posted on their building. It should be posted on the outside door when individuals come and approach the building, that they know for certain that they do not want anyone carrying in their building.
So what happens when they violate it? What happens when there's something on a business, a grocery store, a bar or something, and they go ahead and carry anyway and they're caught?
Well, as far as government installations, it is a felony. Outside of that, it would be, I believe, a civil case between the owner of the business and them.
Okay. Okay. So it wouldn't necessarily be a criminal offense?
Not necessarily.
But it could be.
But it could.
It could almost possibly invalidate. They could be treated just like anybody else for carrying concealed firearms, so they could be subject to criminal arrest.
Right. So it really just depends on the circumstances at hand.
Have you ever heard of anybody violating it?
No.
No. So, and I think, and we talked a little bit about this last week, typically the people, well, let me ask you this, who is a typical person that comes in and wants a permit?
There's no typical person.
There's no typical person.
No, most of them are law-abiding citizens. They just, that would be typical, is they're all races, backgrounds.
What about ages?
Gender, anywhere from 21 to 80, 89, I think, is the oldest person I've had
really?
Come through. Yeah.
So you've had someone 89 want their permit?
89 years old.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yes.
That's kind of amazing.
Yeah. He said he couldn't run anymore, so
so he has to.
So he had to take care of himself another way.
Now I know this is a little bit outside your area there, but any weapons that you hear or that they tell you about, or any kind of guns that they commonly carry?
Well, they don't really talk to me about that too much. I've had very few just kind of say here and there. It's basically their own preference, as long as it's a handgun.
You know what kind of surprises me sometimes? I've had a lot of people, and maybe you have too, Jeneanne, that have a permit, but they say, you know what, I don't carry. I hardly ever carry. I just wanted it in case I want to.
Right.
You know, I hear that time and time again.
I've heard people say, I just get it so I can carry my gun to the range and not have to worry about it. You know, about getting pulled over in between times and, you know, possibly have a felony on my hands when I'm just going to the range to carry.
It has been remarkable what I have seen in the last few years as far as guns. as far as number one, it seems to me there's been a tremendous increase in people wanting guns. And we talked a little bit about that last week, that I think there was some concern, whether true or not, that there might be some restrictions in the future with when President Obama was elected. I really can't speak to the validity of that, but I think at that point we saw that increase the number of people, and then also it seems to me that the prices have gone up.
Right.
A couple weeks ago, I actually was in Vance's, which is a gun store in the north side of Columbus. It's on Cleveland Avenue, and I was amazed at, and this was in the middle of the day, how many people were there. It was packed. And then secondly, if you wanted to talk to someone behind the counter, you had to get a number.
Wow.
And you had to wait. And you'd wait 20 minutes, and then somebody would come in and help you. And I can remember being a police officer in Columbus many, many years ago. This is a pretty well-known place. A lot of police officers buy firearms from Vance's. But I don't recall anything like that 20, 25 years ago. So there's really been this spike in different things. Last week we talked about different things, that responsibilities within the Civil Division. And one of the areas is when people want to do a vacation watch, they call into Civil, right?
Yes, they do.
And what's some information that the Civil Division needs if someone's going to be taking a vacation and they want to watch on their home?
Okay. We get basic information. We get their name and their address that they want us to watch, cell phones, regular home phones, and we get contact information from anyone who has a key to their home, just in case there's a questionable activity that one of the deputies want to check out. They can contact them to check on the property. We get if they have any cars left out on the property, if they left any lights on or a radio on inside the home. Often they'll do that, so it makes it appear like they're not gone, so that if somebody walks by, they don't think it's a vacant house. I'm going to go, try to see if I can get in. We get if they have any pets in the home, or if they have an alarm system. And anyone who's authorized to be on the property, because they may have a lawn service that comes out, so we notate that information, and then the dates that they're gone.
Yeah, that is without a doubt the most popular program that the Sheriff's Office has. Every year there's thousands, and I mean thousands of different houses that are checked by our deputies. And I'll just add to that, if you are going to be going on a vacation, just some basic things. Make sure you talk to a trusted neighbor. Make sure that you put lights on timers, get the newspapers, the mail, and all those kinds of things stopped. And once you get home, we will go ahead and send you a letter indicating the dates and times we actually did the check.
Correct.
I'm getting calls on my phone. It's vibrating. It's kind of like somebody's called me about 3 times during this broadcast, so we'll have to wait and see. Jeneanne, we are just about out of time. Do appreciate you, the work you did. Jeneanne is one of the employees where, no exaggeration, I get more compliments about her on the civilian side than just about any of our other employees. And so people really appreciate the job you do, and I do too. You make the Sheriff's Office look good, you make me look good, and I appreciate that.
Well, that makes me feel real nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jeneanne's a great person, great work ethic, and we just really appreciate her. Well, we're just about out of time. I do appreciate you, the listeners and viewers, certainly the folks over at Channel 9, LSN, Time Warner, that give us the opportunity within the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office to have this program, and the folks over at 90.9 FM, WFCO Radio, where we've actually been on the air now about 11 years doing this program. Each week we do a 15-minute segment. On the television part of the equation, it's played a couple of times, and so we try to have a lot of different guests, a lot of different interests. Again, if you have any questions about things going on within the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office, don't hesitate to give me a call. My number in the office is 740-652-7252. Anytime, we would love to hear from you. Well, the clock on the wall says we've got to go. Do appreciate each and every one of you. If you're out there driving, buckle up. God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.
I didn't need help from anybody. I was good at everything. And this, the drugs and the alcohol, I couldn't stop doing it. I went down a path of destruction, just about escaping the feelings. I never used one without the other. It was chaos. A dump truck was insanity. It plowed into us. I know it was the devil. I actually got suspended from baseball. I said, I need help, but I can't do it anymore. I fell on my own. You do with me what you want to do with me, but I surrender.